Hello. My name is Roey Rozen. Welcome to my final project for radio production at Brooklyn College for Professor Twinder. I used to be in a really dark place in my life. I was a total degenerate, doing drugs, working as the milkshake guy at Bear Burger. I had nothing. I had nobody. There was no light in my life, and I needed to do something about it. I needed to give myself something. So about a year ago, I started stand-up comedy, and I've been able to meet the most amazing, beautiful, fascinating, inspiring people in the past year, and I brought light back into my life. I love my life. So I wanted to make my final project about that. I'd like to introduce you to a few new buddies of mine. These guys really stick out to me. They're hilarious, they work hard, and they've got stories to tell. I'm gonna highlight a group of friends that I was lucky to meet. Derek, Geo, Leo, Adam, hilarious comics, and great people. Derek and Geo have this hysterical podcast, On the Gate, which you can find on YouTube, and they run 23-in-1 Comedy, a monthly show at the Stand Comedy Club, one of the most elite comedy clubs in the country, where they have some of the biggest names in comedy come through and do their thing. I don't want to speak for a lot longer because I just want you to meet these guys. So I proudly introduce to you a few new friends of mine.
We ready to get this show started or what? Geo Perez and Drescher.
All right, we're now in front of a hot mic.
Yeah,
I'm here with the beautiful, the amazing Derek Drescher.
that Drescher.
Drescher.
Like the nanny, like Fran Drescher.
Like Fran Drescher.
That's our people. You're Jewish, aren't you?
I am Jewish.
Is your last name Rosenberg?
Rozen. Just Rozen.
Rozen?
Just Rozen.
It probably was either Rosenberg or Rosenblatt, I would imagine, before your family came.
Why is that?
Because I think they probably shortened it to Rosen when they came over on the...
No, I came over. I'm from Israel.
Are you
I came
really?
over myself, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm a motherland Jew.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. Where are you from, Derek?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn where?
East New York, Brooklyn.
Oh, I've heard great things about that place. I've heard lovely things.
It used to be all Jewish and Italian, but now it's not anymore.
What is it now?
I think it's mostly Dominican and black now. But I just moved from there.
Yeah. Where did you move to?
I moved to the East Village,
Oh, wow.
which is all 22-year-old blonde white women.
They're insufferable, man.
They're the worst.
They're all the same people. They all wear the denim jackets. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. They're all from Chicago.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Or Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Yeah, that's where I live now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I moved because there was a murder on my doorstep.
On your doorstep?
Right on the stoop. Yeah, my security camera picked it up.
No way.
So I was like, yeah, I'm out of here.
What happened?
There was a guy cleaning his rims out in front of my building.
Yeah.
He lived next door, but his car was in front of my building, and then a guy just walked up and blew his brains out. Right on the street at 11 o'clock on a Saturday.
In East New York.
In East New York.
So you
yeah.
stayed up in East New York up until recently?
Recently, yeah.
Wow.
This August will be 2 years. I'm not living there. Yeah. But it used to be bad when I was younger, and then the crime dipped dramatically. I mean, it was still rough, but it dipped a lot, and then during the pandemic, it picked back up.
How bad was it when you were younger?
Oh, it was horrible. Watch the documentary, The 7-5. The cops were even gangsters and drug dealers.
What's that like growing up there?
It was rough. I got involved in the crime early.
Yeah.
When I was 12, from like the time I was like 12 to 18, I spent like 3 or 4 of those years in juvenile detention.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I turned 18 and I got locked up for a little bit in big boy jail.
What'd you do when you were 12?
I stole a car. Yeah. Stole a car.
At 12?
At 12.
Where'd you learn how to do that?
I mean, he left the keys in it, so it was easy. It was easy, yeah.
Did you get caught?
I got caught. I was so stupid. I was using my blinkers during the chase. Yeah. And then the cops blocked me off in like a dead end.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I'm a kid. I drove into a dead end. You know what I mean? Like, barely. And I was using my blinkers. But when the cops were trying to they blocked me off, and I was like, I would hit the gas, and I brake right before I hit their cars. But the cops, every time I would stop, they were trying to get in the car, and I would punch it, and I actually hit one of the cops. He went up, he rolled up over the windshield and over the top of the car. Yeah, I didn't hurt him bad or anything. But
That's wild.
yeah, the cops beat the shit out of me that night. They beat me out of my sneakers, and then they held me there for my mom, and she beat me. Yeah,
Your mom's the Jewish one, right?
Yeah, my mom is a Puerto Rican Jew.
That's rare.
Yeah.
That's
So I guess
rare.
the family came from Spain during the
Inquisition?
Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have picked up some Christian traditions.
Like what?
They'll do January 6th, Three Kings Day. But these are things they had to do because they were still secret Jews, I believe they called them. They wouldn't light the candles. They would light them in the basement.
Wow.
And they would do Shabbat and shit like that. And some people who are even Catholics now in Puerto Rico are actually Jews, and they don't know. I know a lot about Judaism and Jewish culture. I knew about it from when I was young, and then when I got older, I just really took a deep dive into where I was from, and I just looked at my grandfather just running from fucking Russia to Poland to Germany back to Russia, because everywhere they were going, they were getting persecuted.
It's wild. When you, as a Jewish person, when you look at your grandparents' lives, and you're just you are all over the place. It doesn't even seem possible.
And even when they got here, they weren't doing bad. They used to own a cutlery shop in the original Essex Street Market.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Now, so right where the new Essex Street Market is, there's a Chase Bank right across. That used to be the old Essex Street Market.
You ever walk past that bank and you're like, this is mine, this is my legacy?
Yeah, I think about that sometimes, absolutely.
Where's the rest of your family from?
We got the European Jews, we got the Spanish Jews, that's it.
Oh, you're full Jew?
Yeah, my father's German Jew.
Wow. I never would have guessed that you were full Jew.
Well, Puerto Rican Jew, but even the Puerto Ricans are Jews, so... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What would you think? What you think the other half was?
I thought you were half Puerto Rican, not Jew, and then half Jew, but you're actually full Jew, but still half Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Culturally, I would be Jewish and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
That's
that rocks.
Culture, yeah.
Well, it's very special.
But I'm white.
White as can be.
White as can be.
White as
people
hell.
say I look less ethnic when I take my hat off.
Do you? Let me see. You do look much more Jewish. You look wildly more Jewish. That was insane. That was like a magic trick.
Some people don't even think.
Vegan edibles.
I'm good, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's awesome. I love this park.
Yeah, selling drugs out in the open.
Yeah.
He had a whole sign with him. That was good. Good business. Yeah.
How do you feel about the legalization of weed?
All right, so
'Cause I feel like you probably got busted for selling.
for weed, I never got busted for selling weed.
What'd you get busted for?
Possession was always heroin.
How long were you hooked on heroin?
Opiates altogether about 8 years, and then at the end I was banging heroin for about 3. I was injecting it into myself, into my bloodstream.
Were you housed? Were you functional?
For some of it, and near the end I was not. It was like living in a box truck,
In a box truck.
stealing every day.
How old were you when you were in the box truck?
33.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm 40 now, so.
Yeah.
So.
What happened?
I
what
just
happened
lost
when you,
everything.
When you lost everything?
I sold, I had a car that I was living in for a little bit. I sold that. Just
For drugs?
For drugs, yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes you get so sick you don't even have the energy to steal. And it's like you I remember I had the iPhone at the time was like the 5, I guess, or the 4, and I traded it for 2 bundles of dope. It's like a fucking $500-$600 phone. You know what I mean? I overdosed really bad one time, which I know all overdoses are bad, but this one I knew was really bad. Because my brother, if it wasn't for my brother, I would have been dead.
Wow.
So I was in a shooting gallery. For those who don't know, a shooting gallery is a place where heroin addicts meet up to shoot heroin with each other.
Yeah, like a heroin den.
It's a heroin den, yeah. And I overdosed, and my brother was gonna call 911, and they took his phone because they're like, no, the cops will come, we'll all get arrested. And then my brother started to pull me out of there.
Yeah.
And he said that they were trying to get him to not take me, to just let me die. So yeah, and then my brother got me to the hospital, and from what I understand, they gave me 2 shots of Narcan to bring me back.
The people that were holding you back, those are like your friends, right?
The people I was getting high with. Yeah, I mean, looking back at it, there was no friends.
But like, were they people that you considered to be your friends at the time?
No.
Wow.
No.
That was probably isolating as hell.
Yeah. Doing drugs, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother, the fact that I loved my brother,
Yeah.
we used to get high together.
Yeah.
We used to do all kinds of bad stuff together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that when they brought me back that time, I remember like when I came back to life, like because the Narcan puts you right into precipitated withdrawal. Like it rips all the opiates off your opiate receptor. So like I wake up, I'm like, I'm breathing, I just start vomiting, and they like turn me to my side, and then I went to the bathroom on myself, I shit on myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why I was not going to say shit on myself. All the things we're already talking about. It's like comedy, too. When someone's like, they're talking about the nastiest shit, and they're like, oh, and I took a poop. It's like, you know what I mean? So I come back, they bring me back to life, and I'm like, oh, I'm cold, and they wrapped like the warm blanket on me, and I hear my brother like outside the curtain, like, please save my brother, please save my brother. And I yelled to him, I'm like, Darren, I'm okay. And he's like, oh, do you want me to call mom and dad? And I was like, no. And he's like, do you want me to call Adrian, which was my daughter's mother? And I go, no, I don't want anybody to see me like this, right? And a lot of times when people are brought back from a heroin overdose or opiate overdose, they're not happy because you're withdrawn.
Yeah, you're withdrawing.
Last thing you remembered, you were getting high. So a lot of them are upset, right? And the first time that happened to me, I was like that. Yeah. But this time, the nurse came and saw me after they got me stable, and she was like, I just want to let you know you're the first person we saved all week.
Holy shit.
And then the doctor came, and the doctor was like, I heard what you said to your brother, that you don't want anybody to see you like this. You seem like a pretty good guy. You should probably stop using heroin. And he's like, we're going to get you into a facility tonight. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not going. And that happened in December, and then I was clean by that August.
So you almost died, and then how fast was that turnaround for you?
I mean, it took me a while to even be able to sleep right. I mean, like the more you use heroin, like, and I tried to get clean a number of times. Like first time, you're sick for like a week.
Yeah.
And then, you're sick for like 2 weeks. And then the last time I was sick for like 3 weeks.
Jesus.
And then I didn't sleep well for months. And then I got put in this program where they call it a TC, a therapeutic community. And they don't really have places like this anymore. They might be completely gone, actually, to where they like really tear you down and build you back up. Like I remember going there. And it's also a diversion to incarceration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because I had open cases and stuff. So I remember going there, they're like, oh, I'll tell everybody why you're here. You're like, oh, my name is Derek. I'm here to get clean off your drugs. I'm so happy to be here. And then somebody goes, shut up. I'm like, what? They're like, shut up. Like, nobody wants you. Your family doesn't want you. Like, you have nothing. And you're like, what the, this is your first time being introduced to all these people.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, if you want to leave, go ahead. Like, the door's right there. Like, we'll call. Well, we'll call and they'll take you right back to Rikers if you want. And I was like, holy shit. And then
you were in Rikers?
I've been to Rikers before, yeah.
How many times?
I've been arrested 30 times.
But how many times have you been to Rikers?
5 different times.
Is it as bad as they say?
Yes.
How bad?
It's worse. Rikers is a shithole, man. All those pictures you see of the guys laying down and like on top of each other is true. They never have like clothes for you to wear. Nothing fits properly. The food is horrible. There's roaches. There's rats. The COs are just as bad as the gangs. But when you're in Rikers and you're looking at time, you want to cop out so that you get out of there faster, and they send you upstate. At least upstate you can move around a little bit.
Yeah.
Have some food and shit. The worst part of Rikers, though, is it's right next to LaGuardia. So you hear the planes taking off and shit.
That's the worst part.
That's the worst part.
I feel like that's probably like the best part. When did you decide you wanted to do comedy?
I had done like a couple talent shows and open mics way back in the day. I used to do impressions and shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny, right? I was in my
On drugs?
I was in my 20s. Yeah. Yeah. I used to write. I'd write jokes or things that I thought were funny. I guess I had about 3 years clean, and my friends asked me to come out for a picnic. There was some girls there, I'm talking to them or whatever, and this one girl's like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And I was like, yeah, whatever, sure. She's like, you have an interesting story. So I go to do the podcast, and I didn't realize how big the podcast was. These are the last 4 guests they had on, and then the one after me, it was Sam Morril, Ari Shaffir, me, Nikki Glaser, Andrew Schultz.
That's ridiculous.
I was in the middle.
Well, you could tell a mean story. You belong up there.
Yeah,
you can tell
so...
a mean story.
And then, Ashley's a professional comedian, fucking... Yeah. And then we got done, and she's like, do you do comedy? And I was like, no, like, I've thought about it a lot. And even when I was in the joint, guys used to tell me you should do comedy, because by making people laugh, like, just makes your time easier, you know what I mean? So she's like, you should give it a shot. You have the experience to draw off. And I remember I was listening to a Bill Burr podcast, and he's like, guys who come right out of prison, they got it. They got it. So I was like, all right, this is it. I'm going to do it. And then, I took a class, and I was hitting open mics. I did a couple bringers, and then things were going, like I was growing a lot, and then the pandemic hit, and then I went like right to Zoom stuff and outdoor shit. And I ran an illegal show. And now we're looking at, over 2 years later, I'm about 4 years in, and it's fucking wild.
It's got beautiful.
Past that, like, my favorite club in the world.
Yeah, you got past the stand. Congratulations.
Yeah. Dude, and it's wild you get past the stand, because you know who the Silhouette is.
Who's the Silhouette?
Mike DiStefano.
Oh, wow.
Mike DiStefano, yeah. And he was a heroin addict also. He passed away about 10 years ago, not from drugs. He was clean. I think he had some other medical issues. But a lot of his material was about being a drug addict and being a criminal.
Yeah.
And all that stuff,
Just next in the footsteps.
Yeah. No, I had a couple older comics tell me that I remind them of him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's probably really encouraging.
Yeah.
What do you think comedy gave you in your life?
It gave me a voice. I don't know. It's given me some very good friends. It's given me... I'm definitely part of a community or fraternity/sorority. A sorority. Yeah, fraternity.
You have a nice little community. You got 2 really great friends of yours, Geo and Leo.
Right.
Hilarious guys.
Both world-renowned homosexuals. Famous in all the jails on the East Coast. I gotta go back. Some very good friends, and dude, I'm like really, I hate to say it like this because I sound like a cornball, because I'm like living a dream. Like, I used to hang at the stand all the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm past there. Like, I hosted my first show there the other night, and it was a fucking blast. And like, it just feels good. It's funny, I was actually playing, you ever play the card game Spades before?
Yeah.
So like, altogether, I think I ended up doing like 9 years of my life, like, incarcerated. I've been in over 40 different institutions. It started for me at such a young age, and then being institutionalized and all that shit, which I still, like, have so much shit I have to work on. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. But I was playing spades in the green room at the stand the other night, and me and Eddie Lyles were, like, just beating the shit out of a couple comedians in spades. And I was like, you know what? All those years I was sad playing spades while I was locked up, I was like, it's all worth it now, just for this win I got tonight. Because we really fucked them up good. Was it worth it? I mean, I don't know who else I would be. I can't tell you. I have no idea.
Oh, there's Ari Shaffir.
Oh shit, that is Ari. Yeah. Ari was there the night I did my audition.
Oh yeah. We should get him on the interview.
Don't bother.
No, yeah, he hates being bothered.
Probably whacked on edibles right now. Dude, you want to know how cool Ari Shaffir is?
How cool?
I'm going to tell you how cool Ari Shaffir is, right? The night I auditioned at the stand, fucking Ari, I guess, I don't know if he probably couldn't tell I was tense, but he's like, who's auditioning tonight? And then Geo's like, oh, Derek is. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll do something really racist to make you look good. He goes, he's like, to follow me. He's like, I'll do something really bad. Where was I going to, bro? Where were we talking about right before Ari?
Before Ari, geez, I don't even know. As soon as he walked past me, my mind got wiped.
I'll tell you a quick story. So like the first 5 years of my daughter's life, for 3 of those I was incarcerated, right? The first time she called me dad was on the phone.
Wow.
And while I was locked up.
Wow.
Yeah. She's like, Dad, where you go? And that shit fucking... You want to talk about being reduced to tears.
I wish everyone listening to this right now could look at your face.
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, dude, it was... I just
humbled grin.
I went into my cell and I just laid my towel over my face. And this Hell's Angel dude saw me like through the bars, and he's like, hey kid, let it out, and I don't know what happened. I like got up, I like took the towel off and I just threw it at him, right? And I was like, fuck you, man, mind your own business. And he just went, all right, and walked away. And you got to realize this is like a hardened criminal, right? Yeah. This guy's probably murdered people before, and he found like a little soft spot in his heart for me to be like, let it out, kid. And I fucking completely
spat in his face.
Yes, spat in his face. So I'm sitting down watching TV the next day, and all of a sudden I feel like I just got shot in my back. Like something hit me, and it was like, and it made this loud smacks, like bow, and I'm like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like this, like my elbows are behind my back, like it hurt, you know what I mean? I turn, I look, and he's standing there. So like he hit me with a slingshot, and this is while we're incarcerated, and I remember I walked over to him, and then he kicked his foot by my face. Anyway, this is all stemming, and I was like, he's like, you can go sit down? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go sit down. I apologize for being so rude yesterday. Like, there's no winning with these people. You know, it's like, even if, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like thinking of my family, like, oh, you know, my last name. It's not hard to find people in this day and age. And I apologize. I go sit back down. I get out, like, and I'm in that program. And my daughter is just so bright. She's just like this bright kid, you know what I mean? And
how old is she now?
She's 12 now.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm like spending more time with her mother, and she's like, oh, she goes, oh, and she like looks down. She's like racking her brain, you know? She's like, because I really want you guys to live together, but it's going to be hard. I go, oh yeah, why? And she goes, Mama loves you, but she doesn't like you. And
that's smart. Yeah.
So smart. So smart. And my daughter put my whole life into perspective for me right then and there. It's like I was completely concentrating on the wrong thing. Like I had already put that woman through so much in that relationship. I should have just been giving her time to relax, not trying to put pressure like, oh, let me come back home type shit. I should have just been focusing on myself and then trying to be the best father I could be. You know what I mean? But you know, as they say, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, oh, that was a good enough story.
Well, I'm sad. I'm definitely sad.
Hey, it doesn't all have to be funny all the time.
When Derek told me that things didn't have to be funny all the time, I sat and thought about it for hours and realized that Derek is wrong and an idiot. So I thought I would talk to someone who's actually funny.
Geo motherfucking Perez.
What up?
Geo, I heard you got in a bit of trouble back in the day.
A little something.
A little
light, you know. I got like a slap in the hand by the judge usually, you know, usually like 8 months here and there, 6 months, 2 years, you know. light work.
Good, you got a winning record.
Oh yeah, man.
In terms of convictions.
6-2, man. 6-2. 6 arrests, 2 convictions.
What's your secret?
Jewish lawyers, man. Jewish.
I was waiting for it. I knew it.
I got a Bergs, I got Steens, Nybergs, and Goldsteins. Shout out to them, you know what I mean?
Gio, I gotta be real with you, man. I interviewed Derek. What a boring loser.
I mean, that's what happens when you got a Puerto Rican Jew, bro. You're just gonna have the two most boring people, and it just cancels each other out, you know?
What about you? You're Dominican, right? Full?
100%, man. Well, 95 because I was born here. Both of my parents were born out there, but I got like American in me. You know what I mean? So like I wear socks and shit like that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't fit like most of the Dominican stereotypes.
I didn't know that.
I'm just a whore, like most Dominican men. That's it.
I didn't know that it was a Dominican stereotype to be barefoot.
Yeah, no socks with sneakers on. That's a. Hey, let me run through them. All right, we're all barbers. We're all baseball players. We're all drug dealers. No socks. Rhinestone belt buckle. Tight ripped jeans. The white pointy shoes. The hookah. What else? The secret families on the side. That's one of the. That's an important one. You know what I mean?
How many of those describe you, bro?
Everyone except the socks. I wear socks. That's it. All the rest of them, I fit into that shit.
So, how many years are you in a comedy at this point?
About four.
About four.
Yeah.
So you're like the veteran of the group.
Nah, not really. There's other people that have been doing it longer than me. It's just weird to go from that environment. And it wasn't like I was like a fucking hardcore gangster, like people were scared of me. People did know, like, if we got into a fight, there's a good chance I might pull a weapon on you. Not guns, like a razor or a knife. I had that reputation. But, you know what I mean? Like, besides that, I wasn't like this crazy dude where people were fearing for their lives if they got into it with me. You know what I mean?
Just a regular dude.
Yeah, I was just a regular dude that broke the law here and there. You know, I came from a somewhat good family and shit. You know, I wasn't say like we weren't perfect. It wasn't like the Brady Bunch, but we just, you know, they grew up dirt poor, and then when they moved out here, it was just like we lived in a project. So, you know, it's natural to just want to be like a pyro and a drug dealer, and you know what I mean? You just go, your brain gravitates to the positive of growing up in a poor neighborhood. Because it's like, yo, like these guys, like they got the best clothes, they got all the bitches, they got the cars, you know what I mean? They got money. So it's like, why the fuck am I going to go to school and dress like Miss Grabapple and shit? You know what I mean? Like she's fucking poor as hell. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's telling our parents to buy them supplies. And then meanwhile, the drug dealer comes through on the first day handing out backpacks with supplies. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, why am I going to listen to the teacher who can't even afford the supplies when I can listen to the drug dealer who's coming through with the back-to-school special? You know what I mean?
Is that real? Is that a true story?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure rappers do it, too.
Yeah.
Or I might have saw a rapper do it. But if a rapper did it, he most likely saw a drug dealer do it. That's how it is.
So, Geo, why comedy?
Dude, I don't know. I couldn't. It just, I did it and it worked, I guess. I just kept going, but I have no idea why, to be honest with you.
Were you a fan of comedy before?
I liked comedy, but I wouldn't say I was a fan because I just knew like the big guys. I wasn't these people like, oh man, you know, Sam Morril, Mark Norman. I had no idea who they were until I started comedy. Most of the comics now that are big, I knew Louis, Bill Burr, Rock, you know, like the main dudes. I found about like LA comics first because my brother was into that shit. They were into that Rogan universe, you know, because they were gay and they did jujitsu and shit. And you know, so they got into it and they put me on. Like the people like, yo, you gotta listen to Joey Diaz, man. He be telling stories like you. He be saying shit like you've done and all this shit. So I started listening to them. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a dirtbag like me. I like that. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could try it. And then it would just linger in my head. And my cousin, who lived in Alabama, threw the idea out. And I was like, oh, fuck it, let's do it. Like I didn't move to Alabama to do comedy. I was just happened to be down there, and he just.
You started comedy in Alabama?
Yeah.
Where?
Birmingham.
Shut the fuck up.
Birmingham, and I would do Birmingham and Huntsville. Sometimes go over to Tuscaloosa, do a mic or a bar show.
Where in Tuscaloosa? I used to live in Tuscaloosa.
Bro, the fucking Black something brewery. And then there was I can't remember. It was like it was two breweries. There was one Black something, and then the other one I can't remember that, but I can tell you later. I'll look it up and I'll tell you.
That's wild.
There's a guy, bro. That's what happens when you smoke weed.
It's a medicine.
Yeah, but I can't remember names anymore, bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
my boy Richard, he ran that. He ran a bunch of shows down there, and Jeremy.
You lived in Alabama?
Yeah, I lived in this fucking racist ass town called Coleman. Like it was, yeah, it kind of felt like Long Island. Like the people felt like they were like from Long Island to like a country, but And I did hear the N-word a few times from white people. That was cool. I was like, oh shit, at work too. That was the crazy part. and then like, as you just said it mad loud, I was like, oh, okay, I guess. I looked around, I was like, all right, nobody's gonna do shit to him, man.
You think that starting comedy in Alabama had an effect on you?
Yeah, because if I would have started out here, I would have quit early.
Why?
Oh, because I see how it is. It's rough out here. I came here when I was like a year and a half in and fucking hated it. I was just bombing everywhere. And then I was like, oh, this shit fucking sucks. Like, I hate comedy. And I wanted to quit. And then I got on Kill Tony. And then I was like, oh, no, I got lucky, fucking did great in front of fucking 500 people. And I was like, oh, no, I'll still do comedy.
You got on Kill Tony?
Yeah, twice.
Explain that.
I just went to the Gramercy Theater.
For anyone who doesn't know, Kill Tony is one of the biggest live comedy podcasts in the country, if not the biggest live comedy podcast in the country. They pull your name out of a bowl, you do 1 minute, and then they interview you.
Yeah, and then they do like about a 10-minute interview depending on how good it is. And I got on it and fucking did great. Got that stage high again. I was like, yeah, fuck, I'm all right. I am funny. Because I was doubting myself. I was like, oh man, I got lucky in Alabama because I'm a New Yorker. I'm not really funny. So that kind of gave me the confidence again. And then like, I got on it again like a few months later.
So, out of your posse, who'd you meet first?
Shit. I think Adam was the first one I met. And then I met Leo after that, and then Derek about like a year ago, beginning of last year.
How'd you meet him?
His show at Comedy. He had like that secret show. And then I accidentally kind of stumbled upon I went with the comic. And I wasn't supposed to get in, but I kind of didn't know, and I just went in anyways. And I saw it, I was like, yo, I started asking questions. I'm like, yo, who the fuck runs this? This is dope. And then we linked up. He's like, yo, come next month. And then hit him up, and it's just been, now we're here, man, 23-1 and on the gate, you know?
You guys have one of the tightest knit, closest families I've seen in comedy.
Yeah, man, we come from like the same environment, so it's like there's not a lot of people like us in comedy. So like when you find somebody that could fuck with you on that like level, you just like, all right, you know what I mean? You kind of stick it out.
When you say people like you, do you mean
criminals, fucking ex-drug addicts, like degenerates, like real life fuck ups, you know? So, yeah, I hate to cut it short, man, but
can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, sure.
How do you think you grew with comedy, like as a person?
I became introverted, very deeply introverted after jail. I did like 4 months in solitary confinement, and I was just fine with being with myself. Yeah, I was fine with being with myself. Like, I don't have to talk to people, I'm good. And then being in comedy, I was like, all right, yeah, I gotta break that shell and, you know, get out of that, you know, that little fucking bad habit that I got into. So like that right there has helped me grow. And also, like, you know what I mean, I had a lot of anger issues and being around here. I'm like, I can't be that angry dude. So that helped, you know.
Was it hard to transition from crime to comedy?
No, because I was already kind of on the path of getting away from the shit, and then I found it there. So it wasn't like I was still committing crime. I came home, you know, a year later, I started comedy.
Geo Perez, partner in crime of Derek and Leo and Adam, and 23-1 on the gate. Hell yeah.
After speaking to Geo, I had a realization that Geo was also a loser. And I was like, this project is going to suck. So I needed to find someone maybe who can say something interesting. I'm here now with a friend of mine, Leo Cofresi.
Hi. Yo, what up, player?
Leo, you're another ex-con.
Yeah.
And you're a comic.
Yeah, that's right.
You're close friends with Derek and Geo.
Right. I used to have them be my... Bleep that out.
How long you known them?
Like almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years?
Yeah.
How far are you into comedy?
2.5.
2.5.
Almost
So really
3.
from the beginning?
Yeah. I know Geo for a minute. I've known Geo longer than Derek.
How'd you
Derek
meet?
I know a little, like a year and a half. And then at Mike's.
At Mike's?
Yeah, and then he was a criminal or ex-criminal. And then, you know, we just gravitate towards each other. That's how it goes. What is it? bird of a feather flock together. That's just how it goes, Pop.
Yeah.
We understand each other the most.
What does that mean to you that like you were able to find other ex-cons in comedy?
It means that comedy is going to shit, and anybody really can do it. Yeah. No. It's really nice. It just goes to show that anything you do, there's always gonna be somebody that relates to you in a good way, and anything, and like you're not alone, and all that fruity stuff.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York, South Brooklyn, Sunset Park area. I moved around the city a lot, but that's mainly where I grew up.
You get in trouble a bunch when you were younger?
Yeah, 100%. The first time I got arrested was in the 6th grade.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's like Chief Keef.
Yeah.
You know?
I wanted to be a gangster. That's what I wanted to be.
Why?
Influenced by movies. It was cool. Music influence. And I was bad at school, so you find, Yeah. Nah, I know rap.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Derek. Why is every blonde woman in New York with a jean jacket on? They're all the same person.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're just, they grew up drinking lattes and all that shit. So it just breeds, your environment breeds who you become. And that's what it is. They're definitely from Long Island or some part in the Upper West Side. And
I would guess they're living on the Upper East, and I'd guess that they're from Delaware, Ohio, or there's a third one.
Michigan,
that
maybe?
From.
No?
A lot of them from Michigan.
The mish.
The mish. The glove, represent.
The guantito in Spanish. For my bilingual people.
How long has it been since the last time you got in trouble?
The last time I got in trouble, it's been a long time. It's been, not a long time, a year. I got caught with 4 pounds of marijuana or medicine. All right, medicine. But I've been trying to stay out of trouble. I've fought in the last 4 months because somebody provoked it though. But besides that, I'm very, I'm reformed. I think I would say I'm reformed.
You don't sound confident about that at all.
Nah, because it depends on who you ask, right? Yeah. Like, it depends who you ask. Like, because I beat someone up, somebody could be like, you're regressing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't fight as much. I haven't committed serious harm to someone with a weapon in a very, very long, over 10 years almost. I went to school for a little bit, dropped out, # not good. But I really just tried to be I worked in a pharmacy for a really long time. Like, I really got my shit together and just try to stay away from the streets.
That's
so
fucking amazing.
I would say I'm reformed, but I do beat people up because I think, you should watch your mouth.
You're trying to teach people lessons.
Yeah, you get hit, I remember I was looking at this guy wrong. I stared at him. I was like, hey, big nose. And he punched me with the anger of his dad leaving the family. So I was like, hey, everybody's nose is equal. You got a beautiful nose. So violence does teach you stuff.
How would you describe Derek?
Really good dude, loyal person. His temper, he has a short fuse, but he doesn't act on it. Just like all of us, we are quick to become upset, but with years of therapy and like controlling ourselves, we don't act on those impulses anymore. And a loyal dude, a hilarious dude. Him and Geo are hilarious. Down to earth, they're great dudes. They'll stick by your side. They're not fake. That's what I appreciate them about the most, is that they're not fake. We're cut from the same cloth. We don't like that goofy shit,
You're the goofiest guy I know.
Yeah,
You're the goofiest guy I know.
No pun intended.
What about Geo? How would you describe Geo? Unless you feel like it's just the same
way. We're the same. Like, it's just, if you don't fuck them, they won't fuck you. That's just how it is. We like, that's what it is, bro. Like,
Is that prison rules?
It's not prison rules. It's just like the model.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not. The thing is, with white people, they're trained to be like more accommodating. We grew up in a culture, our environment wasn't that accommodating. We were more raw, more able. And I'm not just saying white people. I'm talking about people with privilege or certain circles that are more like where talking your mind is a little bit less acceptable.
How rough was your neighborhood growing up?
Oh yeah, it was rough. It was, my neighborhood wasn't as rough as other neighborhoods, but we saw people get shot in the face, the broad daylight. People get stabbed a lot of gangs, a lot of drugs. But like my twin brother, he removed himself from that completely. He never was attracted to that. So, we were raised in the same environment, same mom, same dad, and some of us I was just bad at school. So I was, you know what I mean? And my brother wasn't as bad, he was able to find a community that way. But, I gravitated more to something that felt easier and more of my,
Why did you start comedy?
I was regressing a lot. I started hanging out with people, started cracking heads again. That's how it goes, Pop,
Yeah.
I started becoming violent again, and I hadn't been violent in years. And I just felt like I was in a darker place, and I was like, hey, I gotta do something that I like. I can't go back to this fucking horrible. The streets are horrible, dude.
Yeah.
They're not a good place. They're surrounded by a bunch of shit people, degenerates.
I've been told that the streets are hard.
Dude, they're not. It's like the worst people. Like a lot of the time. There's a lot of good people. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good people. But there's a lot of fucking garbage people too.
But why comedy specifically?
Because I've always wanted to be funny. I never thought I was funny. I've always had the energy for it. I have ADHD. I always had the energy to be goofy. But I never thought like I was pen to paper funny. And I just wanted to become funnier. I love comedy. This comedy is, dude, you learn. So this is the thing about comedy. A lot of people want to become famous. Like for what? Like you get so much out of comedy. You learn how to like articulate your emotions. You learn how to look at the world from different views. You have to question what you're talking about. You have to question everything around you. You have to be observational. So you're more open to the world. I've become more accepting of other people. I've become more knowledgeable of the world and how environment affects us, how we all think differently but are the same. We all have the same emotions. Like comics are all one of the same people.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I just want to be able to make people laugh. I think it's the best. Look, money's not gonna give you anything. When we die, all we're gonna have is memories. Yeah, I've seen people, like I grew up in the hood, so one of my friends flatlined 4 times, and all he told me was that all he remembered while he was flatlining was his memories of his dad and the people around him and all his friends having fun. And I was like, this is it, bro. All I want to do is have fun with people, with my boys, getting money, and like just be around great people.
You mentioned that it's really important to you in your friendship with Geo and Derek that they're real ass people.
Yeah.
And in my experience in comedy, there aren't a lot of real ass people.
Yeah, exactly.
Speak on that. Why is comedy fake? What's the importance of realness in comedy?
So it's not completely fake. There are some completely fake people that only hang out with you because they want something. But if you're good at comedy, people are going to naturally gravitate to you. So that's just what it is. But a lot of people are like, they just want something from you. And we're like, I don't give a fuck what you got. If you're funny, I'm going to fuck with you. That's it. Mm-hmm. That like a lot of people are not, they hang out with people that they don't even think they're funny. All my boys I think are funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
Would you recommend comedy to other ex-cons to help rehabilitate?
I wouldn't not recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend it either. I don't know a real answer to that. But like I felt like comedy has made me angrier.
It made me angrier, man. It made me angry.
You know what I mean? You quite like the people around you. The thing is, like, so I have to be extra friendly because I have face tattoos. So, and then me and Derek, we were talking about this literally today. We are overly friendly, so people think that they can push buttons easier. Without, it's kind of our fault too because we become too accessible. Mm-hmm. And then people start pushing your buttons and you're like, oh, I wouldn't let this fly in the streets. But then you're like, oh, but this is my new environment. Mm-hmm. So you have to adapt to this new environment, which if you're not developed to a certain level as an ex-con, you have to like come in this and be like, okay, these people are different. And everything is jokes. And it's a different environment. And if you don't come like that, don't even come at all. Because you're going to 100% fail.
Where do you think you'd be without Derek and Geo?
I think I'd be doing comedy, but they're just my boys, bro. It's just easier to have boys around you, people you fuck with. And they just comedy is extremely hard. And it takes at least 10 years to kind of make it and to like understand it. the ins and outs, and
You're doing great for 2 years, bro. 2.5 years, that's wild.
yeah,
You're one
I'm doing
funny
okay.
motherfucker.
I'm doing okay, thank you. But without them, dude, it wouldn't be as fun, and you just want people that you can relate to and that can relate to. And you know, the judgment, we don't judge as much. We shit on each other all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but like that's how we relate to that. Like I've joked and shit on people and they're like, whoa, you're doing too much, or like, is that real? And we're like, no, we're
Fucking with you.
yeah, we're fucking with you, or like we bust balls and that's okay with us, you know? But to an extent though, like some people bust balls with us and you're like, hey, you're going, you're doing too much.
What's the vision for you guys? You have a vision?
I think we're all gonna be paid comics. Like I said, it's not about becoming successful and being famous. I think we'll all be passed out all the clubs here. I think we'll all make our livelihood off of this. I think we'll all be doing it for the same time. We're not quitting.
I have a different vision for you guys. I think y'all are all gonna make it. I think all y'all are gonna
Yeah.
be superstars.
Yeah, that's
Or at least like there's an Andre 3000 quote that's really fucking good. That's like it's like it won't play on the radio, but
Yeah.
everybody cool is gonna fuck with it.
fuck with it. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna be for sure. I think we're also gonna become yeah, bro. We're not assholes, and anybody that's not soft is gonna fuck with it.
Yeah.
If you're not a softie, we accept all people, but we'll bust balls on everybody. Whether you're gay, straight, black, white, everybody's catching these hands. Everybody. So some people are not comfortable with that. Yeah. Some people are not comfortable with that. That's my son. Look how he's walking. He's also ex-con. Look at my son. He grew up in my same neighborhood. That's my dog, Rob Christensen. Look him up. He's on Comedy Central, all that. Yeah, you know, if you're a softie and you don't like to push buttons, you won't like us.
I think I'm out of questions and I need to transcript this whole thing. You have any comments that you want to make? You think anything the world want to know?
Think about why people do what they do. It's not just people can be assholes and people can, but well, why are they that? And yeah, just try to think outside yourself and be just more empathetic to everyone around you, and try to laugh more.
That's
Take
fucking
things less
beautiful.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
yeah.
we're not gonna be here long, Pop.
Yeah, you know, have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Kick
bro.
back and laugh.
Yeah, have fun. Still be responsible. And one piece of advice I could give you: anything you do, just be consistent. When you start slow. And failure is part of everything. So be willing to fail. That's part of everything you do. In comedy, the first time I started, I ate a fucking Frank. I did not do well. I bombed for 3 minutes. It felt like the longest 3 minutes of my life. But failing and consistently going up made me a funnier comic. And 2.5 years here, I'm already past at a few clubs. So just be willing to fail hard and just know that that's not you. Just because you failed, it doesn't mean that you're a piece of shit. It's just part of the process with anything. When you first started playing basketball, you didn't know how to dribble. Then you learned how to dribble. You didn't know how to shoot. Then you learned how to shoot. There's no such thing as talent. I don't believe in talent. It's just consistency, hard work, and failing a lot.
I got one more question. I'll let it slide. How do you think? This is a deep question, bro. This is
Go
digging
ahead.
deep. Fucking
deep, baby.
How do you fucking forgive yourself for all the stuff you've done? I told you it was a tough one.
You just can't take it back. And the only way to take it back is to be good. Yeah, I did what I did. Yeah, I was a piece of shit. And the only way to change that is to not be a piece of shit anymore. To make people laugh, to not be as selfish, to be more caring, to give more love. And yeah, we fucked up and we did what we did, but now we're not doing that anymore. We're doing the polar opposite.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. It's almost like I regret it, but at the same time I don't, because it led me here.
It made you.
Yeah, so it's like, damn, I don't like that part of me, but it also made me who I was. So it's like this, you know, it's this weird relationship that you have with that, yeah, I don't know.
Leo, thank you so much, bro.
You're welcome, thank you.
At this point in the recording process, I realized that I was absolutely wrong. I have absolutely no light in my life, and everyone I know sucks. But I have to finish this project. So I had one last person to speak to.
All right, I'm here with.
My man's doing it on a fucking iPhone recorder,
Bro, I'm a professional.
I thought you had a camera and a setup.
No, it's a radio
Yo,
production.
you should fail him just for this.
Bro, I'm about to fail, bro. This shit's
Yeah,
late.
you should just fail him just for this. And you just cursed? This is...
I've been cursing an interview, bro. It's an interview that's with the ex-cons and shit, you know?
All right, well, yeah, you're great, man.
I'm here with one magnificent Muslim, Adam Hmada.
All right, I'm here with one magnificent Jew. I forgot his name, so I can't...
Roey?
Roey?
Fucker? Fucking...
Here, magnificent Jew, Rosie.
Man, Adam, I've been hearing a lot of great things from the boys. I'm hearing a lot.
I appreciate that.
Derek called you the adopted son of the ex-cons.
Right, that's a terrible thing to hear. That's not a good thing to hear.
Yo, I see everyone.
I'll take it, you know. But damn, if that's what people are saying about me, Jesus.
You're not an ex-con.
No, I was a pretty good kid growing up. I never got into trouble. I was pretty straight edge.
Straight years in school and shit.
Yeah.
About to graduate.
I'm graduating Saturday. I got decent grades. You know what I mean? I mean, in college I fucked up, but you know, before that.
Why are you hanging around a bunch of clown-ass ex-cons?
Because I have no other choice. All right. As soon as I get to a position where I can leave them behind me, I will do it. I can't wait to sell out. All right. Yeah, put that on record. Tell them I said that too.
How'd you meet him?
Me and Leo went to the same high school. We're from like the same, like we grew up like probably like 20, 30 blocks away from each other. I never knew him until I started comedy. But
Sunset Park?
Yeah, I'm from Bay Ridge, but he's from Sunset Park. That's like, this mad close. It's like neighboring hoods.
How'd you meet Geo and Derek?
Geo, I knew from when I first started too. He started before me, but I would see him around at a lot of mics, and we didn't talk at first, but we had some mutual friends, and then we started fucking with each other. Yeah, I knew Geo since I started. Like, I would see him around ever since I started. When he had like the long, like fucking Weird Al Yankovic curls.
Man, that was a phase.
Yeah.
That was a look.
Yeah, it was. I mean, not for him, but you know, it was a look, just not his. You know.
What do they mean to you?
Absolutely nothing. Like I said, as soon as I get to a position where I could sell them out, I'm gonna do it. I'll snitch. I'll snitch on them immediately. You know, imagine. No, they're cool. I mean, that's probably like my core group, which is weird because Derek's like 39 and I'm 22, so you know, it's not right. You know what I mean? Like, it's not right.
What's different about them, like Geo, Derek, Leo, from everyone else in comedy right now?
I mean, obviously, you know, Leo has face tattoos. You know, they all have records, felonies and shit. But I think the best comedy comes from like a real place. Like, they're so distinct. Like, they have such a distinct voice because it's like informed by like a wealth of life experience. So it's just like they're captivating to like watch on stage. Like, I always tell Derek, I'm like, even when you might not be getting the laughs, I'm like, people are still very engaged. They're very like captivating on stage, in spite of like, even if their like jokes aren't working, it's like because they have something to say and it's worth hearing. Whereas I feel like more structured comedians, if their jokes aren't hitting, and the audience is like kind of out. Honestly, I wouldn't like have progressed the way I did if I wasn't surrounded by them. Like, I mean, dude, like I came up with like Leo, and it's like, dude, I remember he was like a month into comedy murdering at mics. Like, he was never not good. Like, Leo is somebody I never, like, obviously I've seen him bomb, but it's like, even coming up, like, he got the hold of it like pretty quickly. Like, I don't know if he told you, but he did Michael Che. Like, he performed like during the beginning of COVID, he was doing shows on like a pickup truck outside. And at that point, we had only been like a year into comedy, like when everything happened in COVID. And I remember he asked like Che for like 5 minutes, and he just went up and like murdered. Like, and he was like, dude, like, it was a stacked lineup. It was like Nimesh Patel. Obviously, Che was hosting it, Rosebud Baker, and he like went up and did his thing. So it's just like, I was around, like that was like my closest friend in comedy. He still is. And it's like, seeing that, it's like it kind of incentivizes you to like want to work harder and like, you know, put in that extra work. So I think we push each other, honestly. Like, I don't think any of us would be like where we were at had it not been for one another, because we see the work that we put in and day out.
You have any other like loose comments you want to make about 23andMe or about out the gate, on the gate?
On the gate. You know, I think they will make it, but they're gonna get canceled immediately for the shit they say on that podcast. Yeah, but no, I mean, much success to them. I mean, this is like their like 8th, 9th sold out show. So, it's like, it's coming up on a year, and it's pretty crazy, man. And like I said, it's like they weren't the comics they were when they first started doing the show. And it's like they really took advantage of the stage time they were getting at the stand. Like, dude, like I remember Derek would book Soder and like followed Soder on one of the shows, and Geo Perez followed like Ari Shafir. So it's like they never made it easier on themselves because they had like this hot show at the stand, and it's paying off. I mean, they both, like, Derek just got passed. I'm sure Geo's gonna get passed soon.
Hilarious. He's hilarious.
Yeah, both of them are like hilarious comedians, and it's like I see the work that they put in behind closed doors. So it's just like, it's literally just for like seeing them like do the show. It's like, oh, it's just a matter of time before not only they get into the stand, but before they're like working like comedy, like really working comedians, and like, like their trajectory is a lot more like clear.
But let's just not talk about their growth as comics. What about their growth as people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, obviously I didn't know them before they were in prison, or like, when they were and shit, but like I knew them like after the fact, and it's just like, I mean, they were always good people. And I always will say, man, people from like the shittiest upbringings and like the worst circumstances, I feel like they tend to like be the most like gentle people, like the kindest people, because they know the worst of it. So it's you'll find that, man. It's like, I've talked to like rich, well-off like people, and it's like it's very obvious, like who's like realer. In like a way that it's like they understand, they're like empathetic and shit. And it's like you really will find that, and it's wild because it's like people will vilify, ex-cons and like people in gangs and shit. And it's like, there's part of it you understand, but there's also like an aspect to it that people kind of ignore. And it's like you really can't judge people, because it's like you will, like, they will surprise you a lot of the time. But it's like I was never off-put by the fact that, they were ex-cons or anything. You know what I mean? And it's like, you really have to be open to, especially in something like comedy, it's like you really can't close yourself off to anybody. It's like being open to like meeting people and experiencing like, their lives and their backgrounds is like, it makes you more whole as a person.
Why did you start comedy?
I think I wanted to do comedy since I was a kid, but it just never seemed feasible. Because it's like you watch specials and it's just like a dude on stage talking for like an hour, and it's just like there's no like frame of reference. But I started getting into it a lot more when I like first started college, and I would watch it like every night. I remember this girl I brought over once. She was like, you have so much, like, she's like, you watch so much stand-up. She was like, what the fuck? Because we were trying to watch something on Netflix, and it was just everything was stand-up. And I was like, oh, I'm really like obsessing over this. So then I looked up open mics, and I started doing it. I was gonna start like 6 months earlier, but I'd asked my one friend. I was like, I asked my roommate. I was like, you think I'm funny? And he was like, nah. He's like, no. He's like, oh, not really. And he brought my suite mate in. He was like, nah. He's like, I don't think he's like, you're not really that funny. Like,
it's a consensus.
And dude, it just fucking like it like, I was like, I didn't start for another 6 months because I was like, yeah, I'm bugging out. I shouldn't do it. But then when I started, I didn't tell anybody. Like for like 7-8 months I was doing it, just like I was going really hard. I just didn't tell anybody.
What does it mean for you? What does stand-up mean for you?
It's pretty much everything. I invest way too much time into it, but it's fun, man. It's just a lot of fun. It's very freeing. I'm not one who like, I don't like being told what to do. I have a very big problem with authority. Like, I've gotten fired from every job I've ever worked, but it's just like comedy is so like, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's so liberating. And it's like you really have you could say whatever you want. Like, you can do whatever you want. You're free to experiment in any way that you want. And I think we have like in terms of like who gets to exercise their freedom of speech the most, I think it's comedians. And that's like a very like, when you have the ability to like exercise like your freedom of speech to this extent, it's like, you're like, wow.
You have any other messages you want to give the world, millions of people that are going to listen?
I'm parched, son. I need some water. You know what I mean? I've been talking for like 12 minutes straight, man.
That's it. That's all we need. This has been Adam Hmada. Yeah. Hilarious, man. I'm gonna
big balls Hmada, son.
That's what they call him.
Yeah,
that's what they call him.
None of that son of the ex-con shit.
The only member of the group that hasn't had sex in jail.
That makes me want to stop hanging out with them. That you just told me that. I don't. I'm concerned now.
Yo, Adam, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate the hell out of you.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro.
I kind of appreciate you. No, I'm playing. Thank you, Roey.
So that's it. That's my final project. The Roey Rozen experience. That's what I'll call it. I didn't learn anything. What a waste of time. I don't think anyone listening to this is going to learn anything. But if there's one thing I could say, it doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter who you are, who you were, because you can change your narrative whenever you want. Fight to make your dreams come true. Because with enough hard work or something stupid and corny like that, you could really be out here doing it. Thank you, Professor Twinder. Thank you to anyone who listens to this. God bless you all. Don't forget to check out On the Gate podcast and 23-in-1 comedy every month at The Stand. You can find more information about that on The Stand's website. Follow Derek Drescher, Adam Hmada, Leo Cofresi, Geo Perez on Instagram. Keep up to date with their shows. Go out and support them. This was the most fun I've ever had, so I'm sure that you'll be hearing from me and a few more of my friends soon enough. Follow me on Instagram, Roey Rozen. Nice little self-plug to end it. Classy. Let's go. Professor Twinder, 2022, Roey Rozen, On the Gate, 23-in-1, penis. Thank you all.
Yes. You stand out to me, 100%. There's a lot of people that we do comedy with that should stop, though. It's not even that they're not funny. It's that they have no balls. Go meet people, go hang out other places, fucking shake hands, make friends. You have guts. I see that in you already. You take a lot of chances up there, which means that, you won't be afraid to speak to people when it's time.
It's still scary. It's still scary speaking to people,
as it should, but
I've been like...
But going up in front of and talking in front of people with your art is also scary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
you
scary
still get
for
nervous
me.
Before you get up there, right?
Dude, it's wild. I mean, I've been getting a little dangerous. Like, I'm from Israel, so I do a lot of anti-Israel material.
Uh-huh.
But while I'm doing the anti-Israel material, I make sure to be really, like, Islamophobic.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Which is funny in itself.
Yeah, because I'll be like, oh man, Israel sucks. What a racist country. And there'll be like a brown person in the audience, and I'll be like, don't look at me. Like, don't. Like, I don't want to. I can't.
Yeah.
It is really scary to go up on stage and like just be the guy that everyone wants to murder in society right now.
I mean, it's gutsy to do it. I have respect for all comedians.
Yeah.
But there comes a time where it's like shit or get off the pot.